Happy Adar, everybody. Mishanichnas Adar Marvin Besimcha. Happy Purim. In 2 days we have Purim. And our shiur today is dedicated Leilui Nishmat Hatzadik Yitzchak Aaron ben Yitzchak. Aaron ben Yitzchak, Yehi Zichro Baruch. I think he was a role model to all of us in the community with all the amazing things that he did. And may you always be able to do good actions in the family to bring his neshama higher, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so today I don't want to be talking by myself. I want all of us together, since Megilat Esther is a text that we know, it's not something new that I bring in today, but I want to see how the Megillah and this festivity at all can impact our lives. How can we make from this, even a learning experience, not just let Purim pass by us, but let Purim make a difference in our lives. How can Purim, especially today, Tav Shin Pei Aleph, after this difficult year that we have had. Actually, I'm sure everybody remembers last year's Purim. We were not sure if to take it seriously or not to take it seriously. We were just at the beginning of it. I remember my husband speaking in the synagogue about this year we become all Shomer Negiyah. We're going to try not to hold hands. We're going to try not to do this. Everything was like, let's try to do this. And then we realized it was really serious. We had a very serious year. And unfortunately, some are not with us anymore because of this pandemic. Many families have suffered loss. Life is not the same. Like I was just now playing with my granddaughter, my Malka Esther, that is here with us today. And Rivka kept telling, she's a Corona baby, she's not used to a crowd. Babies are not used to a crowd. Babies are used to see people with masks. Babies have been growing in these different times. It's not like it used to be. Like we need to be social. We need the facial expression. We need the company. We need the celebration. And Be'ezrat Hashem, as I was speaking yesterday with a friend, I was telling her, we cannot say we are on the same place because we are not on the same place. Baruch Hashem, things have been opening a little bit more. We have Bet Knesset every Shabbat, every day, Shurim, things are happening. There is a vaccine. We need to be able also to appreciate and to thank Hashem for how things are evolving. And we hope that Be'ezrat Hashem, next year, next Purim, we're going to be dancing, hugging each other, and feeling the touch, the warmth, the connection that we need so much. Okay, so now you are going to help me here. What I want to do with you today, and before I start, I want to tell you that this class is inspired mainly in the shiur of Sivan Rav Meir, in shiurim of Rabbi Chaim Sabato that I have listened to him so many years. I listened this morning a little bit of Rabbanit Yemima Mizrahi, just to get in the mood. As much as I try, I cannot be as funny as she is, but she inspires me as well. So my shiur is going to be directed by their sayings, and you are going to be mainly helping me. So I want us to focus on two things. I want us to focus on the different characters of the Megillah, and I want us to focus also on the 4 mitzvot that we have in Purim. And I want us to see and to learn from this, how can this teach us, how can this help us to be able to apply this mitzvah that we are having already for 10 days. Mishanichnas Adar Marbim Besimcha. From the beginning of Adar, we are supposed to get happier. We are supposed to really express and feel happiness. And then the question is, how can we do that? What can I do to be happier? But Corona is still here, but I still have to wear a mask, but I still cannot do this, but I couldn't be in the wedding of my family member, but I miss so many, but yes, there is many but nevertheless, how can we still be happy, and not just happy, very happy? And how can we learn that from the Megillah, from Megillat Esther? So let's start with what not to do. From the Megillah, what do we learn that we shouldn't do? Because if we act in those ways, it definitely is going to deprive us from our happiness. And I'm just going to hint you, we're going to look at Ahashverosh behavior. what is that we find in Ahasuerus behavior that really will not let us to be happy if we act in those ways? How is the beginning of the Megillah presenting Ahasuerus? What is Ahasuerus doing? Is celebrating, drinking, what else? Showing off. This is the main definition of what is the meaning of the celebration for Ahasuerus. The Megillah tells us in Pasuk 4, Pasuk Dalet on the first chapter, בהראותו את עושר כבוד מלכותו ואת יקר תפארת גדולתו ימים רבים 80 ו100 יום. For no fewer than 180 days he displayed the vast riches of his kingdom and the splendid glory of his majesty. For what purpose? בהראותו, to show others, for everybody will see how wealthy I am, how rich I am, how beautiful is my palace, how much I have that I can provide everyone with as much wine as you want. Everything that you want, just ask for it. And I can make this amazing party, not for one day, not for 1 week, not for 1 month, for 180 days. So this is one thing that we can learn from Ahasuerus. Now I ask ourselves, how happy is Ahasuerus? How happy does it make him? After 180 days of showing off in his parties, how happy is he? And I want to prove from the Megillah. You say he's not. You don't think so. Why? Why can we really think that Ahasuerus is not happy?
So much going on, but then God said once in a few school.
Excellent, but even before that, if you are so happy, you already showed everybody everything, then you could be content. And you could say, wow, Baruch Hashem, everybody knows what amazing power and wealth I have. But it's not enough to him. It's not enough. He needs more. He needs to show more. And what is the next subject, the next object to show? His wife. That is next object. If it would have been enough, he would say, okay, let's celebrate, let's dance. Everybody knows me. Now I know everybody loves me. Everybody is my friend, but he knows. This is not what makes people love you. And then you feel emptiness. And then you need to show more, and you need to show more. And then he tries with his wife, and he becomes even less happy. This is really uncomfortable. How do you do that? He becomes even less happy whenever she refuses to come. Like she's really showing to everybody at his face, you think that you control a lot, you think that you have a lot, your own wife. Like you are a king, you're supposed to be able to be in charge of all of us, and you cannot even, what? Take charge of your wife. Tell her what to do. She refuses. How? So he's really put in a very bad place. Now let's think about Esther, because it's very easy to speak Ahasuerus. He's showing off. What about us? We know very clearly that this is not bringing happiness. Like we know that we don't have to act in ways only for others to see. Do we really? What is if not what we do most of the time, all of us, in social media? How is social media built? What is the neshama of social media? Approval of others, showing to others. How many likes do I get from others? Like I made a party, or I post a picture of the meal that I prepare to my husband, or the whatever. Like, yes, we like to share. I don't want to take the pleasure of sharing with friends, especially in these days that we don't have the face-to-face. So this is a way that we connect. And personally, I can tell you, this has really connected me with my family around the world. Like I can see not so much social media, but since WhatsApp, and we speak with people in Venezuela, in Brazil, in Israel, in China, we used to. You can see the customs, you can see what she cooked today in the moment. I remember when I was a girl, and I made Aliyah to Israel, and my mom would write me, would write me a letter in those times. She wrote me what we ate today, or today we celebrated whoever's birthday, I got the letter 3 weeks later. So who cared anymore about what you had? Today we have in the moment, we can see, we can share. So I'm not taking the beauty of it, but we need to be aware. If my joy in life, if my pleasure in life is absolutely based on the fact that I show to others, that I expose to others, and I'm going to feel good about it only if and when I get such and such amount of likes. And if I don't get, then my party wasn't good. Wait, did you have a good time? Yes. Did you enjoy serving to your husband that special meal? Yes. So why do you care so much that you didn't have likes? But we do care, because that's how everything is built today. Now, are we happier with social media when we show to others, when we expose to others? You just Google it, social media and happiness, or social media and depression, and social media and anxiety, especially with teenagers, and you are going to get the answer. So the one thing that I learned from the Megilat, from Ahashverosh, that I should minimize, and if I want to be happy, I need to really, close for a second and try perhaps a week to live without it, or try to figure out how much this is affecting me, how much my happiness depends on this, how much it's all about this. And after that, go back to it, but with the right awareness. My happiness is not about how much approval I get, how much I show off to others. Now, it affects my happiness. What about other people's happiness? Does it affect them? Of course, in what way?
Because they don't like what you post, and then they don't know is this real. They think it's real. They think, wow,
So
look at her.
it creates one of the most terrible qualities, that is jealousy. הקנאה, התאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. Jealousy and ambition and the stick for honor is what take a person out of this world. How does it take you out of this world? You are not able to live your life because you're all the time thinking about the other, and about where her husband took her for vacation, and about what she was wearing in that party, and about how she got to decorate her house, and about how she got to renovate, and how she got to, and how he got. So we take out away from us the ability to be happy. You want to be happy inside. Look into your life, appreciate what you have, and not so much depend in the approval of others and what others are going to tell you. Okay, let's learn also from the other favorite mean character in the Megillah, which is Haman. What is that we learn from Haman? Let's see if you can guess the direction that I am going. So Haman, is he respected? Very much. Is he wealthy? Very much. Is he famous? Very much. For sure, everybody knew who is Haman. Everybody had to bow down to Haman. Everybody, but who doesn't bow down to Haman? One person, Mordechai, a Yehudi. I want to say something later in parentheses about Mordechai's behavior. We always ask ourselves, how is Mordechai endangering everybody else? But we'll talk about that later. What happens to Haman? Does he feel content with the fact that I don't know how many millions of people are bowing down to him and are giving him honor, and they are respecting him and they're recognizing him, and how amazing is my life, how much I have? Is he happy? No. What is Haman saying? His greed is what's going to bring his downfall. Who remembers what is the sentence?
It says, all what I have is not worth anything.
Who is he saying? Who is he telling that? To his family and friends. So we see that even from that point of view, he should be happy. He had people around him that support him, that share with him, that are celebrating with him. And he says, look at all the honor that I have. Look at everybody bowing down to me. Look at everything good that I have in my life. And then there is a sentence in Hebrew, you said it, V'chol ze enenu shaveli. And all of that, the value of all of that to me is zero. בכל עת שאני רואה את מרדכי היהודי שאיננו משתחווה לי. Every time. You know, I wake up in the morning, I put my clothing, I feel good about my life. My life is good, Baruch Hashem. I have everything I need. My husband loves me. My children are, going in the good path. My parents are healthy or whatever. We are healthy. I can focus in all the blessings that I have. And I'm feeling good. But then, either I open my computer or I get a message or I go into Instagram or Facebook and I see her and I see all the amazing things that she had. This winter vacation, they went to this place and they're posting in the picture like everybody's so happy and I couldn't go anywhere and I'm home. Or I see how amazing she is with the Mishloche Manot, she's so creative and she's doing, and it's so difficult for me. So just the fact that I see one person, one friend that has a little bit more than me, a tiny bit, that has the power to make everything that I have disappear. וכל זה איננו שווה לי. וכל זה איננו שווה לי. Crazy, right? But Aman is teaching us human nature to the extreme, right? The very Amaleki way, not Jewish values. I can have everything in the world, Hashem. You can give me all the blessings that you want, but then I'm going to focus in the one thing that I'm missing, in that one thing. And that is enough to make me miserable. And this is how we live our lives. Like it's very easy to point at a man and to point at other people. Sivan Rav was telling in her shiur about a story, something that happened. He said that, the Rebbe Milubavitch used to get letters from people and give them brachot. And once he got a letter from a person that was writing to him, and everything in my life is a mess, like everything is going bad for me. And she doesn't bring all the details of his letter, but she reads there the response of the Rebbe Milubavitch. And how does the Rebbe Milubavitch respond to this person? Rebbe Milubavitch was a very kind, loving, every person of Am Yisrael, but he writes to him, "You are such an ungrateful person. How can you say that your life is bad? Why don't you focus on the brachot? Do you wake up every morning? Do you breathe? Do you have a wife? Do you have children?" Whatever he had. Like if he wrote there, "I have a problem with my son," so he said, "How can you say that everything is bad in your life? You have a son. Yes, you have a problem with your son, but you have a son. Your wife is not cooking so good for you, but you have a wife." So sometimes what we are lacking really eclipses the good that we have, and that takes away from us our happiness. That's what I said. Let's take today a class from the Megilat, and I started saying, this is what we should not do. So number one, we said, not to live my life thinking that only when others approve of it, it's good, and not to be my life also looking at other people's lives. And if I see that I'm missing something that the other has, it shouldn't take away from me, from my happiness. Listen, first of all, it's important to know it's natural, it's normal, that you can feel a little bit of a wish. I wish I was able to go there. I wish my husband would have bought for my birthday this. I wish. Okay, it's okay to have the initial feeling, but the Yehudi has the power to take those feelings and redirect them with the teachings and the values of our Torah. Okay, so we saw Achashverosh and Haman. We saw what would take us away from our happiness. If you want to apply Mishenichnas Adar Mardim Besimcha, stay away from these behaviors. Okay, who else do we have in the Megillah? We have Mordechai and Esther. Okay, so what can we learn from Mordechai and Esther? What can we learn from Mordechai that will help us to be happy? Kindness, beautiful. We say this. Caring for whom? Who does Mordechai care for? For Esther. for the Jewish brethren as well. How does he care for Esther? Before he checks on her every day, he had adopted her. He adopted his niece or his cousin that is an orphan. And sometimes we read it and we take it for granted. Okay, it's his niece, it's his relative. But I can tell you, and I'm sure you know, that it's not enough to be a relative and to be close in family relations to care for others. Sometimes our sensitivity or our ability to see the other is very much blurred, even whenever it's in our family. And unfortunately, we know from close cases that they are going through a very difficult time, and there is an uncle or an aunt that could have helped, and they just seem not to realize, they seem not to feel that there is pain there. So first of all, he takes care of his orphan niece or cousin. Then he checks on her, even after she's going into the palace of Ahasuerus, he's checking on her every single day. He could say, what can I do? The king took her. The king took her. I tried my best. I was such a kind Jew. I tried to adopt her. I was offering her my home. I was even going to marry her in the future, according to some midrashim. But what can I do? The king took her. And that's it. And Ahasuerus, Mordechai can continue with his life. But Mordechai doesn't look to the other side. He keeps checking on her every single day. Hey, how are you doing? Wow, I know you are in quarantine. It must be so difficult. Sometimes it's not even go and do something for the other people. It's not even come and cook for them. It's not even come and help them. It's just a call, a phone call. Check on people that are going through a difficult time. For sure, for Esther, we spoke last week a lot about Esther and about this splendor of becoming a queen had a big tragedy behind it. But now we know she's there in the palace, and Mordechai is not allowed even to go inside to see her. But he comes to the shar, to the gate, and he asks about her. That's the equivalent of a phone call. There is no phones, but he's in the shar. Can you please tell Esther that her uncle is here? I'm checking on her. Can you ask her how she's feeling? Tell her to be strong. Tell her that I'm praying for her. That's a big, big chesed that we can learn from Mordechai. And I can assure you, things are difficult. We are going through challenges. I woke up very sad today. I am a little bit depressed. This is too much on me. The secret medicine is when you care for others. When you care for others. So you really feel like not waking up, like not getting off your bed, like what can I do today? Like somebody told me, the other day, I just put makeup, wore my high heels, my best outfit, and took my bag. And as I was leaving the house, my husband asked me, where are you going? So I told him, to the super. Like she's going to the supermarket. Where else can I go? But she did it to make herself feel a little bit better. Okay, so what can we do to feel better? Yes, get dressed to go to the super. But besides that, think about somebody that things are being tougher for that person than for you. That is lonely. That is somebody, a relative is ill. That they are mourning this year. That they are going through financial challenges. That they are lonely. And you know what? We all have very good excuse this time with pandemic. Like I'm strict, I cannot bring people to my house. I can be strict. Everyone according to their circumstances. But find a way. Find a way. Find a way. And as I said, phone call, and we're going to speak later about how the Mitzvot of Purim are going to help us into this. So this is one thing that we learn from Mordechai. Another thing that we learn from Mordechai, come on, what is the main thing? We mentioned it before, that Mordechai did. Mordechai is humble. He's very strong on his values. How do I know he's strong on his values? He's the only person that doesn't bow down to a man. Now, this year I heard actually a shiur that my husband was giving on Shabbat, And I say, wow, I never realized. This is amazing. Every time we try to understand how does Mordechai do this, how is he endangering all the Jewry because of him? A man wants to exterminate everybody. But then my husband was saying, you know, did everybody need to bow down to Ahasuerus as well? What do you think? Obviously. So the Megillah is not telling us that Mordechai doesn't bow down to Ahasuerus. And we know that Esther came to Ahasuerus and she bowed down to him. So he did that like everybody else. Why to a man? And our Chachamim in the Midrashim, they tell us that a man had like an idol. He had an agenda. He wanted people when they bow down to him, especially the Jews. At the same time, he wanted to cause them to engage in idolatry. So Mordechai saw that and he understood that clearly, and then he is standing up for his values. Now, we know that idolatry is a very strict thing. We need to give our lives. This is one of the 3 things that a Jew is supposed to give his life for. Do you know? Like if somebody tells me, eat pig or I kill you, what do? See, if somebody tells me, drive this car on Shabbat or I kill you and all your family, God forbid, I do that. There is 3 things. Even the Jews chose very often to give their lives because it was a principle for them. There is 3 things that for them we give our lives. We're supposed to give our lives. And one is idolatry. Like somebody tells me, bow down to this idol or I kill you, I have to allow myself to be killed. Because idolatry is like, if I am not believing in one God or serving other gods, there is no reason for me to be in this world. That's how strict it is. The other one is shfichut damim, murder. Somebody puts a gun on my head, gives a hand to my, gives a gun to my hand, and he says, okay, either you kill that person or I kill you. So what will I do? I will kill that person. No. You cannot kill somebody else. You cannot allow yourself to do murder to save your life.
What about self-defense?
Self-defense, yes. I was thinking about it now. That's for sure. Self-defense, you kill to defend yourself, but no, you don't kill people. You don't engage in murder. And you also don't save somebody else and endanger your own life. Like there is really a logical process to that. And the third one, Gilui Arayot is not only adultery, it's everything that is involved with the promiscuity, adultery, all of this, let's say, keeping the Kedusha, the holiness of the Jewish home. Yes, especially a married woman. So today, I was watching the other day a documentary with my husband, and then there was an advertising in the middle, and there was a warning. There was a warning that there's going to be difficult images of, I don't remember what it was, eating disorders. You would see in that, I really don't remember what was the case, but there was a warning for the viewers, be careful, there's going to be a very difficult thing to watch. And I was telling my husband, I wish they would put warnings in movies and in everything before you see a scene of infidelity, of, being adulterous or of things that were not allowed by the Torah. I don't want to bring any controversial words here. I'm very politically correct. But do you understand what do I want to say by this? That subliminally they're introducing in our minds so many messages of what is normal and what is not normal. What should make you feel very bad, even if you watch today a documentary of animals, any this of nature. They don't show you when a lion is eating the goat. You cannot see that. It's too much. We became a very sensitive society. But other things we can watch. All the other things that I don't want to mention, we can watch. So pay attention how the TV is educating us, but we have our own values. We need to be strong on our values. And it seems that Mordechai understood that he lived in times that he needed to show really how important it is to stay faithful to our Jewish values. Because the beginning of the Megillah, whenever we see the Mishteh, you know what Chachamim in the Talmud say, why this Gezerah came to the Yehudim? You know why this sentence came to us? Because there was a high level of assimilation. They were enjoying the parties. They didn't care. They that's it. Why not? I want to be like everybody else. I want to feed. They live in Shushan, they socialize with the high nobility, high society. So they were forgetting a little bit what does it mean to be a Jew. Okay, let's move on. I don't have too much time. 10 more minutes, right? Okay. Esther. What do we learn from Esther? Our queen, our hero of Purim. Sacrifice for Hashem. Okay, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to be the devil advocate. Did she have a choice at the beginning? At the beginning, she didn't have any choice, right? She was taken. She was taken and married to this king. Can you imagine a life married to a man like this? What it is for a Jewish delicate girl? Terrible. He was I always say rude person, and he was into partying and drinking and women. Can you imagine? This is the husband, even that he buys you the best, that you have everything that you want. This is not what brings you happiness as a woman. You want a husband that cares for you, that is attentive to you, that is sensitive, that he has, midot tovot, good traits, that is treating you as you deserve. Okay, so Esther is falling into the trap of this marriage. So it's sacrifice, but at the beginning she didn't have the choice. And another thing that we saw last week that is based on the Midrashim of Chazal, and when Haggai, the person that is in charge of bringing her the makeup, it says that it brought to her tamrukea vemanotea, her makeup and her manot. Amana in Israel, you know what is amana? Amana is a portion that usually you bring to a person that is specially done for that person. Let's say you go to a party and the kashrut is not exactly the kashrut that you eat. So I never did that, but that's terrible. They bring you your mana. Or the airplane, yeah, you do that. They bring us our kosher mana. So it's totally manufactured and done especially for my needs. You are vegetarian, they give you vegetarian. So what did they bring special to Esther? We mentioned it last week, that she became vegetarian or more than vegetarian, like tivonit, like plant-based. That is why? That's kashrut. And you don't need to say I'm Jewish. You just say, I follow this plant-based diet that is so in today. So they bring her nuts and seeds and chia seeds and Virgol and all of these new things that I'm learning lately. So why did they bring her? Because she had the Mesirut Nefesh also to keep her Judaism. The Midrashim also tell us that she called her maidens by the days of the week. So she would know when it's Shabbat. So Sunday come, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Shabbat, I love you so much. Today you're going to sit next to me. I'm not going to make you work. We're going to read stories. And then again, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Shabbat, let's have fun. Like she wanted to make sure that she doesn't forget that she's a Jew. Okay, this is one part of Esther, trying to keep her Judaism, living in the most Goyish palace ever existed. Now, what else do we learn about Esther? And this goes for what you said towards the end of the Megillah. So imagine the end wouldn't have happened the way we know it. And Esther would have been, Queen Esther, she would be in the history of Paras and Madai, like one Jewish girl that married to Ahasuerus, Sofa Sipur, it ended there. And then Hashem sent a miracle, and the walls of Shushan broke on the Aman and his family, and the Jews were saved. The Jews would have been saved anyways. But what happened in the Megillah? What do we see? she overcomes her fear. I want now everyone here to tell me, how can you be Esther? In different situations in our life, don't speak about yourself, about others. What does it mean today to be Esther? To be Esther Amalka? Because what Esther is requested by Mordechai is saying, hey, listen, Esther, we have a problem. A man wants to kill all of us. You are the closest member of our community to the king. You have access to him. So please, no, do something. And Esther says, no. You know, everybody knows that the king didn't call me for 30 days. And you know how is this king? If he didn't call me for 30 days, it means that he doesn't like me anymore. He doesn't want me anymore. So what am I going to do? He can kill me. If I come to him unwanted, he can say, kill her. You know, in Shushan we saw one day they hung Vashti, the other day they hung Bigta Bateres, the other day they hung a man and his family. It's like you don't hang pictures on the walls, you hang people here and there. Like it's very easy. Just the king would say, hang her, and she's hung. So she's afraid. And Mordechai tells her, you know what, Esther? It seems that you don't get it. You don't get it. What do you think? That Hashem made you queen for you to have these beautiful dresses? What do you think is the reason why you are put in this place? I cannot hear you. She has to be a role model, beautiful. You have to find your purpose in life. Why are you here? You have some powers. Hashem gave you some powers. Be beauty. Let it be money. It can be being part of a powerful family. It can be talent. You have an amazing career. You are a lawyer. It can be you are a cook. You are amazing hands. It can be you are a singer. It can be any talent or power that Hashem gives us. What is that talent for? What is that power for? We have to use that. You are popular. Imagine you are very popular. You have many friends and they follow you. Do you realize the responsibility of that? That people follow you? That if you say, Shabbat is, I'm tired of this quarantine. Let's go to the gym and let's go to Starbucks and let's have and your friends are going to come with you. You know your responsibility. And you know what it means that you say, let's adopt this family as a friend. Let's take care of them. Let's make a change in their life. Or let's adopt these children. Or do you realize the responsibility you have? The more powerful you are, the bigger your responsibility. The more, how you say, ordinary or you are not, you have other talents, you have other things to do. But the power, the social power, and it's a responsibility. Imagine when we come after 120 in front of Hashem, so how many friends you have? Wow, I had so many followers, and thank you, Hashem. Everybody loved me, and this and that, and what did you do with that? What did you do with that? So I did parties in my house, and everybody loved coming, and what did you do with that? And so we're gonna be asked. You married this amazing husband that supported you in anything you wanted to do. You had the support. What did you do with that? You understand? You are so beautiful that if you dressed a little bit with more modesty, others would follow you. And the opposite, because you were so and so, you created a trend. What will we answer to that? Did you know they will ask us that if you would keep Shabbat, the whole community would become Shomer Shabbat? Did you know that? What are we going to answer to that? So Esther, Mordechai Yehudi is telling her, the Jews are in a difficult place and we need to save them. She said, I'm scared. Okay, you know what, Esther? I'm not worried for Am Israel. Hashem has his ways. Hashem opened the Yam Suf. Hashem sent 10 plagues to Egypt. Hashem can make all the Persian people to paralyze and let the Jew have their life free. He can do whatever he wants. But you have the opportunity. You have the power. You have the talents. And Esther had to overcome. She was passive before that. She was shy. She had to overcome. And instead, more than anything else, instead of living her life with the feeling that I'm a victim, I was taken. I could be such a good Jew. I could be preparing the most beautiful Shabbatot in my life. But my husband is not so religious. He doesn't support me. But you have other talents. You can do other things. So Esther had to understand that in order for her to reach the potential that Hashem gave her, she had to get out of her comfort zone. And Baruch Hashem, thanks to that, our girls are dressing up as Malka Esther, and we have her as a role model. I said 10 minutes, I'm going to finish in 2 minutes. Mitzvot of Purim. And this year more than ever, Corona, quarantine, isolation. The thing that we felt the most is loneliness, is not being in community. So what are the mitzvot? First of all, Seudat Purim. Seudat Purim is the family. We are not showing off to the world like Ahashverosh. We want to look inside ourselves, around our table. Pay attention to your children, to your husband, to the grandparents. This is the Mishteh of Purim. This is the importance of the Seudat Purim. Enjoying inside our homes, the Seudah. Kriyat Megilat, reading the Megilah twice, the night before, a Thursday night, either immediately after the fast or this year, you can break the fast with a little snack and come later so you don't come to a very crowded place. That's okay this year. But when we come and listen to the Megillah, we are trying of saying, I care about my Jewish values. Perhaps I'm not going to a carnival this year. Perhaps I'm not participating from these beautiful parties, but the mitzvot of Purim, I'm taking care because we care about our Jewish mitzvot and tradition. 2 more mitzvot. We have Mishloach Manot and Matanot L'Avyonim, which is Mishloach Manot is give gifts to at least 2 poor people, and Matanot L'Avyonim, that Mishloach Manot, Tzedakah, and Mishloach Manot is giving at least to one friend, to one person, a gift that includes 2 different types of food, drinks, etc. Now, this is from Yemima Mizrahi. She was saying, you know what? Usually we give to the people that we know, to our best friends, to the one that sends me the most beautiful Mishloach Manot, to the people in my circle. Make an effort to think about somebody that perhaps is not going to get so many Mishloach Manot. That is lonely. That is having a hard time. And make it an effort to prepare that Mishloach Manot for that person. Another amazing things that can be done through Mishloach Manot. You have somebody in the family or among your friends that you have some tensions, that your friendship has not been the same way it was. Make an effort to prepare a Mishloach Manot to that person. Make it personal, thoughtful, not just buy a few things. She was saying, if you want to fulfill the mitzvah, with 2 Mishloach Manot is enough for the whole neighborhood. Because you give, they return you, and you give, they return you. You give, they return you. You can, halachically, it's okay. You can do that. I get a Mishloach Manot, somebody else comes from the door. I'm going to have 2 doors in use this year. One to get Mishloach Manot, one to give. So I get from here, I give it to there. I get from here, I give it to there. So that's okay halachically. But if you make sure to take, again, not in the same note, change the note. Change the note. But, if you want to help to heal relationships, to make somebody happy, make something personal. You know that person loves, I don't know what, Starbucks. Send her a gift card inside the Mishloach Manot of Starbucks, a beautiful personal note. Let's take advantage of the mitzvot of Purim to bring close people that need it and to heal relationships whenever they are needed. And also, very important, it's more important, Rambam says it, halachically, to spend more into helping others, right? She knows that. It's more important to help the poor than to give 1,000 Mishlochei Manot that they cost, again, because when I want to do the huge Mishlochei Manot that everybody's going to be speaking about my Mishloach Manot, I am going by what we started the class at the beginning. Behar Oto, Etiferet, that I want to show everyone. And the tzedakah, I'm not showing anybody. I'm giving. Nobody knows that it's coming from me. And I am helping others, especially this year, that a lot of people are going through financial stress. So, Ashrenu matov chelkenu. How lucky we are to be Jewish, to have mitzvot, to have a tradition and values that help us even in the difficult times, to channel the good things in our life and to bring happiness into our lives. I want to wish everybody a Purim Sameach, Mishanichnas Adar, Marbim Besimcha. Questions? I open the question.
So this year,
I was alone in the Zoom. Okay, Halacha of the day has all the details. Also, the how you say? The religious council has sent a letter. What to do this year? I'm going to say. Let me just finish this. Was share. Okay. Whoever needs to leave can leave.